did the Blues go about it? Is it something you sort of sit as a group and watch the whole game, or do you break it down and look at parts of it?
No, we haven't reviewed it, and I doubt we will. The coaches go through it with a fine tooth comb, and they look at things. But in terms of as a whole group, we haven't looked at the finals loss. I think the coaches are sort of more broadly reviewing the year that was and the areas that we can get better. So rather than sort of trying to be specific on one part of the game, or on one game. Sorry, it was a little while ago, and in terms of us as a club, I know everyone does it differently, and I suppose maybe grand finals are a little bit different than getting knocked out in an elimination. But we haven't reviewed it, and our eyes are sort of firmly set on 2025 now.
So, Nick, broadly speaking, where do you think you're at? I mean, 23 was a great season given the run to the prelim and the momentum you built together in the second half of that year. This year was a strong start and then started along, and injury was a complicating factor, and then that elimination final exit. So where does the improvement come from this year? There's a lot of expectation. What do you suspect the group's capable of?
Yeah, I think in terms of where the improvement comes, I think there's a few areas we can get better at. I think individually I feel like it's that sort of 3 to 4 year guys, your Jesse Motlobs, your Lockie Cowans, Ollie Hollands, you feel like they're all ready to sort of to step up and improve again. And in terms of as a group, we just feel like we probably let ourselves down a little bit with our defending, and we're a bit inconsistent with it. All the best teams in not just probably AFL but world sport are usually pretty good defensively, and we were just a bit too inconsistent in that last year. And as a defender myself, it hurt the pride a little bit. So that's an area we'll be going after pretty hard. And we feel like we've got a really strong list and got a really hungry group that have come back in good shape and ready to compete. And we want to improve on last year. And I think going after our defence in contest is going to be a big one in this off season, and we'll see where that takes us.
Got a text through here, Sammy, from one of our listeners saying Lockie Cohen looks up to Nick as a mentor and a father figure.
Well,
coming.
G'day guys, hope you're well. This will be probably the last footage I share. I think I've exhausted most of it, but this is my favourite. The match sim was good, but this is my favourite footage that I'm going to share in this video because it's clearly an area of our game which was so poor in 2024 and really poor and was highlighted. So it's no secret that it needs to get better. We've just heard a snippet from an interview from Nick Newman on SEN from a couple of weeks back when the players returned to training, and he spoke candidly really about what the club need to do, or this team needs to do, to improve going into 2025 and be serious contenders. We hear Voss sort of throw out the sort of general line of we need to be a better home and away team, a more consistent home and away team, but how? What parts of the game do we need to get better at? I mean, they asked Newman about where the improvement will come, and he spoke about the evolution of the 2 to 4 year players. He's really excited about them and what they've got to offer. But then he just went into more specifics when he was pressed about what went wrong this year. What were you disappointed with? They didn't necessarily review the elimination final as such, because they felt like the issues that were in the elimination final were issues that they had really throughout the season, particularly in the back half of the season. And that was around defending, and they were bitterly disappointed with that. I reckon the conversations and the reviews would have been pretty brutal, and I get the sense that for this to improve, it's got to be a real player-driven thing, and the players' accountability to each other. That's where it's got to come from. It's one thing having the coaching panel, and I'm not saying our coaches are perfect and they're not immune from being criticised here. But I don't know, I just feel like there's a slight shift that this is going to be a real player-driven thing. Now, whether that's going to work, whether we have the right makeup with that, enough really strong leaders and enough really strong individuals, time will only tell. But I reckon it is player driven. And we were diabolical. If you talk about defence, and he's talking about defence, inconsistent. You can talk about defending the whole ground and all that type of stuff and defending as a team, but specifically, we were one of the worst in the competition at like conceding goals from stoppages in our back half, particularly our D50, and just putrid, insipid. And as the season progressed, it got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. It was like a train wreck. Every time the opposition, we must have been quite easy to plan against if they were able to get control of the game and have repeat stoppages in their front half, then more often than not, they backed themselves in from scoring from a stoppage. And I mean, there's the big highlighted ones, like the Nick Dacos goal, and he's a freak. He's a freak. And good players are going to kick goals from stoppages. You're not always going to stop it. That goal, at the back of a stoppage, late in the game, important part of the game. Well, super important part of the game. We were hanging on, we would have probably taken a draw in that game. But Sam Welsh lost him. There was no real handover. You hear in the clips, and unfortunately you won't have the sound. I'm going to roll the clip of training and you won't have the sound because I just got fucking pinged for copyright once again. But this use of the word handover, which I kept hearing at training, just because maybe Sam Welsh was responsible for Nick Dacos, when he lost him or when he was blocked, it can't just always be Sam Welsh's responsibility. It needs to be a handover to another player, and that's being in sync as defenders, and not letting your player get goal side, all that type of stuff. So that was one example. And then the Jack Higgins one in that game, guys, late in the game with a minute to go, last game of the home and away season, and we'd done so well to hang on in that game and get the lead back, and with an undermanned team, and it would have been just great to win that game, to get into the finals just on our own merit, with so many things personnel-wise going against us. But it just went to script. And it was a goal from a back half stoppage, which sealed our fate to Jack Higgins with that snap. And it's okay. Look, I ain't got a problem with the players when they're interviewed or the coaches saying, we've got a strong list. We've got a really strong list. And we're a hungry group. I mean, they're a bit of cliche. Well, not cliche. It's a strong group's a strong group. But we're a really hungry group. Well, let's show us. And we've got some evidence here, guys. We've got some evidence. We're poor at this part of the game. You've told us we're poor defensively, so we've got some evidence. Let's see it improve. Let's see it improve in 2025, because we keep hearing it. The best teams in the competition defend strongly at the contest. They don't concede goals from stop. Well, they do, but not the way we concede goals from defensive 50s. It was a fucking train wreck and frustrating. Every bloody time, it just felt like the Oppo were going to score from a stoppage in their front half. Anyway, I'm going to roll the footage because this is a match day scenario drill that they were doing, and most of the stuff they do, they'll do their warm-up and they'll go straight into these match day scenario drills. And I'd love for you to be able to hear the sound, but you can't, so I'll talk over the top of it. So basically, you've got the two assistant coaches who are responsible for the forwards and the defenders. You've got Jordan Russell. I'm pretty sure Jordan Russell is there. He's looking after the forwards, but definitely Aaron Hamill. He'll be under the pump a little bit when you're highlighting an area of the game that really needs to improve. He's the defensive coach. The blue team are the defenders, the white team are the forwards. These are just scenarios, boundary throw-ins, ball-ups in our D50, and defenders defending strongly as a team, not letting their forwards, for the best of their ability, to get goal side. The handover was mentioned a lot. So don't, if you lose, if you feel like someone who's become really dangerous, you can go to them, okay, because their opponent has been blocked. Okay, so that's the handover. And then just the constant strong pressure contest. Don't let him out. Assist. Okay, you just could hear them interacting with each other and being really, really tough on each other. You can see Nick Newman there as a defender, Adam Saar, Jordan Boyd, Billy Wilson, usual suspects. Denver Granger Brash trying to get onto the list. The former Hawk, he's there as well. Ollie Hollins trolling as a defender, running defender, but he'll have to defend and defend strongly. They all do. It's one thing to get the ball in your hands, but that can only come off the back of really strong defence. Lockie Cowan, Lewis Young doing some ruck duties down back as a big key defender. Sam Durden, Matt Carroll trying to get back onto the list with Sam Durden. Nick Haynes, our new recruit. I reckon we'll see him for the majority of the season if the body is sound. Rob Monaghan, the young Irishman in his second season. Mark Pitnet. You're probably wondering who the big gangly, the big wiry beanpole, number 49 is. It's Flynn Riley, 20-year-old from formerly of the Northern Knights. He's a strapping young lad. He's 206 centimetres. Left footer. He was on our VFL list last year. Did not play a game. Obviously, we had Alex Murkoff and at times Hudson O'Keefe and Pitnet played in the reserves as well. So the opportunity didn't come. He spent the whole year at Montmorency in the Northern Football League. I think they may have even won the flag. He's doing a bit of training with us at the moment. He's back on our VFL list this year. And with no Alex Murkoff, we might see him make his debut with our VFL team. And then the usual suspects as well with the forwards. And this excites me. This excites me a little bit. Obviously, the form of Jesse Motlop is really fruitful at the moment. Looks to be tracking really well. But look at Ashton Moyer. Look at the size of him. Look at that body. The body shape. Look how strong he is with Nick Newman. I like the look of that. It's not all about just kicking goals and being a threat. It's what you're actually doing at these contests. So I like the look of Ashton Moyer in there. Same with Elijah Hollins. Big Harry in the ruck. Couple of NGA products, guys. Majira Clark and Tyson Gresham. Both from the Coates Talent League, both NGA. I think Clark maybe with the Oakley Chargers, Scotch College as well, and Gresham with the Northern Knights. They're not eligible until be drafted until 2025. But I think both of those boys are probably long shots at being drafted, but they've got the opportunity to train. Zach Williams, forward. Harry O'Farrell, forward as well, which is interesting. Harry Charlson, really like the look of him. Rookie, GW Variables, VFL product, Will White, little left footer, TDK in the ruck, and Lockie Fogarty. I'll finish off by saying this. You probably caught the interaction going on, and go back through the footage, the interaction between Nick Newman and Jordan Boyd, both defenders. Now, Jordan Boyd obviously done something clearly wrong. Now, looking at the footage, go back and have a look at it. Jordan Boyd's at the stoppage, and then he makes the decision to go back to the goal square. Now, Nick Newman at the time was on the sidelines having a rest. He comes on and has some stern words, and I'd love to be able to play it, guys, but the music is blaring over the top. He's having some stern words to Jordan Boyd about what he did. And the interaction is really good. Really good. It's solid interaction. It's not beating around the bush. It's immediate. It's there. And it's not even pointing fingers. It's just like there. And the good thing about it is when Jordan Boyd runs off for the next scenario, there's no poor body language. He just goes, yep, okay, off we go. We'll go again. Anyway, hope you enjoy that. We'll speak soon. Take care. And if I don't do any more videos before Christmas, have a great Christmas. Stay safe with your family and enjoy yourselves. Speak soon.